Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Kai, and in today's video we are jumping into a head-to-head comparison of the original Canon R6 and its successor, the R6 Mark II. We'll be looking at the similarities and the differences and hopefully help you decide which one might be the perfect fit for your creative journey. This was the most voted for video on my recent post, so that's what we are talking about today. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and keep an eye out for the polls so that you can get more of the content that you want. So without further ado, let's get into it. I've personally been using the Canon R6 now for a couple of years. It was released in the summer of 2020 and it features a 20.1 megapixel sensor. It utilizes the Digic X image processor and it has an ISO range from 100 to 102,400, expandable up to 204,800. On the other hand, the Canon R6 Mark II was released in 2020. It houses a 24.2 megapixel sensor. It weighs in at 670 grams and its advanced features include a faster electronic shutter at 1/16,000th of a second and an unlimited recording time for 4K videos. Now both cameras feature a 35mm format CMOS sensor, both use Canon's RF mount lens system, both cameras are weatherproof, making them reliable companions in various shooting conditions, and they both offer a 5-axis internal stabilization system, ensuring your shots and videos remain steady even on the move. And when it comes to autofocus, both cameras feature Canon's dual pixel CMOS AF2 technology. The Canon R6 boasts an impressive 6,072 focus points, while the R6 Mark II offers 4,897 points. This means that you'll enjoy quick and precise focus whether you're capturing fast-paced action or intricate details. Pretty identical at the back, so you'd be hard-pressed to tell which one is which. And if you don't know, this is the R6 Mark II over here, and this is the original R6 here. Both cameras offer high continuous shooting capabilities. The Canon R6 can shoot at up to 12 frames per second. 2, 1, action. And the R6 Mark II matches this speed. However, if you're seeking even faster burst modes, the R6 Mark II takes the lead here with an electronic shutter mode that pushes the limit to 40 frames per second. Focus bracketing is also available on both cameras, but focus stacking or depth composite in the menu is an option only available on the Canon R6 Mark II. So let's look at some side-by-side photos to see whether the R6 Mark II's higher pixel count really makes a difference in image quality. So I don't know about you, but it was really tricky for me to see any difference at all between these photos. So the only way to rectify this is to do some pixel peeping. In particular, we're going to be looking at the JPEGs. Of course, we have the RAW files as well, and we can check those later for dynamic range of the images. Both of these were taken on a tripod in exactly the same location, slightly different look by the model who couldn't keep still for a few seconds. But let's do some pixel peeping here. We're going to zoom in. And we want to have a look at the quality of the image around the eye on both of these shots. Again, this is the R6, this is the R6 Mark II. And even at this kind of zoomed in range, we're at 300% here, about 400%. Obviously, we've got more megapixels here on the R6 Mark II, so we can zoom in further. We come to the equivalent about here. That's how it looks. And I'm not noticing personally a lot of difference at all in the quality of these images. Both of these images were taken with a 15 to 35mm f-stop 2.8 lens at about 35mm, I believe. There's probably slightly more color in this JPEG compared to this. Both of these photos, by the way, were taken with exactly the same ISO, aperture, and shutter speed settings as well. Maybe the color is ever so slightly richer in this second R6 Mark II photo. But for portraits, yeah, I'm not really noticing very much difference at all. So let's have a look at the details here. So I'm going to open my R6 image. These are JPEG images, so R6, R6 Mark II. Let's zoom in now. Let's have a look. Let's pixel peep some of the text on these boats. Very comparable. Fur West, Gothia Tanker Alliance, the no smoking just slightly clearer, I think, than this image on the left, the R6. If we go to the Aegean Star, again, very comparable. And even that text in the distance, the Christina, actually looks clearer on the R6 than it does on the R6 Mark II. Again, both of these images were taken on a tripod with the 70-200mm lens at 200mm. So let's take a moment to look at the dynamic range of these images. So we're going to open up the raw images. What we're going to do is we're going to pull back the highlights to reveal the details in the cloud layers. And the same for our shadows. If we pull our shadows up, we look at the bottom left corner, obviously where this boat is, or this old... Is that a boat? Wait, what is that? It looks like just a piece of concrete that looks like a boat. Again, if we pull the shadows back to normal, it looks very dark. As we pull it up, it reveals quite a lot of detail and color as well. You can see that in this bottom left-hand corner where this patch of seaweed-ish stuff is. Pull those shadows up. So much detail is revealed. Here are two edited images with the highlights pulled back and the shadows lifted. We're going to zoom in on these cloud layers in the background here. Very comparable. The R6 Mark II on the dynamic range here just has a little bit more of an edge, slightly more texture, less blurriness, I guess, in the shadows. And that is probably down to the megapixel count being higher. If you already have an R6, I don't think you need to upgrade to the R6 Mark II. A minor increase in image quality, but you be the judge. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below when it comes to picture quality. All right, let's talk about video. Both cameras offer 4K video recording up to 60 frames per second with a bitrate of 340 megabits per second. This ensures high quality cinematic footage. The Canon R6 supports full HD recording up to 120 frames per second, whereas the Mark II takes it a step further with full HD up to 180 frames per second. Just remember to set your camera settings to NTSC to unlock these recording features, and of course set your shutter speed accordingly to make sure that you've got the correct motion blur. Both cameras also provide 10-bit C-Log3 and HDR-PQ options, giving you filmmakers and content creators the tools that you need for stunning post-production results. So let's have a look at some of those videos up close and see if we can spot any difference in picture quality. Now, the original Canon R6 does suffer from overheating issues. When shooting in 4K 30 FPS, you can expect about 40 minutes or so of filming before you need to turn it off, which can be stressful to deal with if you're on an important shoot. And I've spoken about this before in previous videos, how the overheating problem on the R6 caused me issues on a client shoot. I was not happy. The R6 Mark II does have overheating warnings, but these are set for 4K at 60 FPS and at 180 frames per second in HD. You can film for about an hour or so. At lower frame rates, there are no overheating issues reported. This is definitely an issue that I think will affect those of you who are planning on getting a camera for extended 4K shooting sessions. So how much are you going to look to spend on this dynamic father and son duo? Well, currently the Canon R6 costs $1,999 at the US Canon store and £2,149.99 in the UK, while the R6 Mark II will set you back $2,499 from the official US Canon store and £2,780 at the UK Canon store. So which one should you consider getting and why? Ultimately, your choice depends on your specific creative needs and preferences. Whether you're a photographer chasing fleeting moments or a filmmaker seeking cinematic excellence, both of these cameras have something incredible to offer. The original Canon R6 is perfect for versatile creators. Although it has a smaller 20.1 megapixel sensor, enthusiasts, vloggers, and event photographers will benefit from its 6072-point autofocus, 4K video up to 60 FPS and 12 frames per second continuous shooting. Its weatherproof build suits travelers and adventurers seeking reliability. Just be wary of the 4K overheating. The Canon R6 Mark II builds on that legacy. Filmmakers will appreciate its 4K video that can be used for extended sessions, as well as the full Full HD at 180 FPS, 10-bit C-Log3 HDR-PQ capabilities, and the unlimited 4K recording sets it apart as a great fit for professional filmmakers and portrait photographers too, thanks to that 24.2 megapixel sensor. If you want a reliable camera for high-quality 4K filming, then consider the Canon R6 Mark II. And if you're a photographer who can live with a 20.1 megapixel full-frame sensor, then consider the original Canon R6. Saying that though, I've managed to work with the limitations of the original Canon R6 and enjoy the videos and photos that it produces, and I believe that it still has a lot of life left in it. So what do you guys think? Are you going to get a Canon R6 or an R6 Mark II or something else completely different? Let me know down in the comments section below. And if you liked today's video, don't forget to give us a like. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell icon for notifications. And now that you've watched this video, make sure that you check out my top 10 reasons to get a Canon R6 Mark II video here, or this video that YouTube thinks that you will like over here. In the meantime, stay creative, imagine, implement, and inspire, and I'll see you next time on KaiCreative.